I've got some bad news for you. The White House is down. Well, the East Wing, that is, since Donald Trump is destroying it in aid to plant his ballroom on the side of it. I don't know if it's coming in on Chinooks or whatever, or it's going to take several years to build. Meanwhile, the water damage is going to be excessive over the winter, since it takes a year for the planning to be approved. It's the National Capital Planning Commission. That's what they have said. But Donny is ripping the side of the bloody White House out already. It's a gaping fucking hole. It's desecration, if you ask me. So yes, the White House is down, America is down, the dollar average is down by at least 10%. Like old Orange von Schützenpanzer's little flaccid mushroom, if you know what I mean. Yes, thanks, Stormy Daniels, for informing us about that. Yes. Anyway, what a shit show that it is. In more ways than one, because the Orange von Schützenpanzer can't help himself but create little AI videos of himself pooping on the American people from a jet. Anyway, welcome to All Shorts on this rather wet day. Yes, another rainy day, hence we're stuck in here again, which I don't mind. No, but there again, it's raining and I've got a lot to do. But anyway, shall I continue? I think we should. You see, the White House is going through a certain remodelling. Now, he said it would not affect the integrity of the White House, even though there's a fucking great hole in the side of the White House. Is this vanity or just a distraction from the so-called PDF files, if you know what I mean? And Donald Trump's, how to put it, his history? That we all know what is true. We all know that he likes little girls, you know. There ain't getting anywhere away from that, is there? No. No. Donald Trump has been exposed by the KGB. Not just once, no. Where we were all informed that he was Krasnov, according to a KGB officer. But another one came forward who said that Donald Trump is compromised by Vladimir Putin. Yes, Vladimir Putin has compromising material with the golden showers and all that. Well, maybe not the golden showers, but yes, little girls. Video of little girls, according to the KGB. Oh, you know, okay, it's disbanded and what have you, but you know what Putin said? You know, once a KGB operative, always a KGB operative. That's what he said, his own words, not mine. Well, the thing about the old Trump, he does like a bit of fluffing, don't he? And that's probably why he likes all the girls and that, you know, and world leaders suckling him while he's just playing him. In some cases, I think they are just playing him, get him on side, soften him, and then expose him to his own vulnerabilities. Maybe that's what it is. I hope so. Mark Carney, elbows up, was pretty much doing that the other day, and he made it so the actual meeting between Mark Carney and Donald Trump, not just cordially, but it looked actually like a bit of a friendship going on there. How the hell could anyone be friends with the Orange von Schützenpanzer? I do not know. You see, for me, I'll just call spade a spade, right? As far as I'm concerned, the Orange von Schützenpanzer in the White House is a fucking pedo, right? And I would not want to try and engage with one of them. No. Apart from putting them in a box and locking the key, and maybe it's extracting all the oxygen out of the box, or something like that, I don't know. First of all, get a pair of bricks, though. Unify them. That's what you make them into eunuchs. That's what you got to do. Because these people are disgusting. They are. And Trump is disgusting. Epstein was disgusting. All those fucking people in the GOP, all those Republicans who are covering for him, are all complicit. And they do need their balls crushed with bricks. And whatever you want to do to the women, I don't know. Why the hell are they actually covering for a man like that? Are they just scared? Are they just trying to hold on to their job? Either way, they're disgusting. absolutely disgusting. Trying to maintain a so-called government, regime in the White House, just to service their own needs and Trump's needs. Literally fluffing his ego, stroking it, some people might say. Literally. It's a vanity project. The whole thing is, everything is just a vanity project. And they are complicit. They are all complicit. And I would hope they would all meet meet justice. I'm talking about justice. I've got some video clips for you today that I have, because I found a few that are quite interesting.
Dear American people, we can see that you are struggling with someone who thinks he is a king. And as French people, we want to help you, because we already give you the Statue of Liberty and Lafayette. And we have something very efficient against the king, and it is called the guillotine. Right here. You will see it's very easy to use, very simple, even for an American mind. No need to use a gun. And it's very efficient, and we can give you all the guillotine that we have left, because we don't do a death penalty here anymore. Because we already helped you with kings in the 18th century, and we can do it again. So call Macron, or don't call him, call us. And in exchange we want, you know what, we don't want anything in exchange. We are good in food, in culture, so we are doing this just to be nice. Voilà, bisous. Dear America.
Bishu. Yes. And if, for instance, it's not up to standard, their guillotine, I am happy to build you a guillotine, okay? Although you'll have to suffer the import tariffs, okay, for the said guillotine. I won't charge for the guillotine, that'll be free, alright? You just got to decide whether you want hydraulic, mechanical, or just the old traditional, get on the old rope, what have you, and let go of the vicar. Yeah, yeah. Oh dear, I'll tell you what, I can make a sharp edge, that I can. Yes. Anyway. Life must go on, except this. But anyway, world leaders, they do tend to have to, or they feel the need that they've got to fluff him. That they do. And it is a shame. Well, it is. I wish they would all call spade a spade and put him in his place. But they're all trying to get a deal with a man that, quite frankly, has a very short attention span. He can't remember even that the deals that were, well, that he's complaining about are the same deals that he negotiated. He signed off on in his during his last term, when he was the 45th President of the United States. Don't you people learn? For Christ's sake. Man almighty. Clearly not. Now, obviously, I was speaking to the MAGA lot out there, alright? Because I'm thinking to myself also with the garden, the farmers and what have you, and how Trump has been treating the farmers, and how positive he's been towards foreign nations, such as fascist foreign nations like, Argentina. Almighty, we'll hand him a 40-odd billion and screw our farmers, or actually give Argentina the ability to screw our farmers, or your farmers, even more. And what was Donald Trump's response? I think I got that here somewhere, actually. Yeah. What was Donald Trump's response? Was it, wait. Not that one. No, not that one. Okay, but I might... Okay, is it that one? No, it's not that one. Is it that one? No, it's not that one. Oh, is it? No, it's not that. Is it that one? No, it's not that one, is it? Right. No, it wasn't that one. Well, Donald Trump, he stood there, didn't he? Going on about the money for Argentina. Telling everybody that, they're dying, they're dying. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's been deleted. Out on there. It's gone. They obviously didn't like that video. That's been deleted. Well, I know, censorship is getting bad, isn't it, eh? I only put it on there this morning. It's gone already. Dear me. Along with a couple other video clips as well are gone. Well, I never. is going on. Oh, I know, we're being censored. Yes, that we are. Now, the thing is, you see, he does have the authority.
The president has plenary authority.
When you try your best, but you don't succeed.
Yeah. I can't believe he said that. Well, I can believe he said it because he did. But but he glitched and it. What did you say? So now we know what they really are thinking. What they really expect from the American people. They expect you to be not complicit, to comply. To do as you're told. Meanwhile, they're making bloody great holes in the side of the White House. No. Building this wonderful ballroom for you all to enjoy. Oh, actually, no, just for him, really, you know. When he was asked about the Arc de Triomphe as well, don't forget that, all right? He said, who are you building it for? Me, he said. Me. And you're paying for it. So how does that make you... This is the question for you, all right? How does it make you feel funding the pedos' vanity project? Because that's exactly what's happening. Even if it's been added to the national debt of 37 trillion, which is costing 1 trillion a year just to manage the national debt. How does that make you feel? Just like ICE with 160 odd billion. So they can kidnap people. No wonder nobody wants to travel to the United States, including Canadians, you know. They don't want to be kidnapped. So what's going to happen when... FEMA and all that, football. Who's going to travel to the United States when Kristi Noem has actually said that she's going to attack you, effectively? You're going to be, just chucked in a gulag somewhere. You're going to be wrestled to the ground by fat, sweaty men, all right, an occasional fat, sweaty woman, and you're going to be chucked in a gulag. Who's going to go? And then you got the Olympics. No one's going to go. There's going to be no attendance. Why would you go? Even the US citizens and undocumented migrants, they're not going to go either, are they? It's a high-risk zone, you could say. High risk of being deported. It don't matter if you're a US citizen with these lot. It matters whether or not you've been writing nasty things on your Facebook or other social media accounts. I wish we could still just have aliases. Yeah, that would be so much safer. But not anymore, no. That was undone, wasn't it, years ago by Mark Zuckerberg and others. Where now it's got to be your true you that it has. Hey, what? Yeah, please boot the old like button, and if you want to support the channel, got Patreon, buy us coffee, and the links down below. Because I wouldn't be able to do the channel without your support. No, I would not. So yes, Trump hands over 40 odd billion to Milo to fund Argentina. Argentina then upped their exports to China, screwing over the US farmers even harder than what they already has. With the tariffs. Not 1 bushel of soybean has been sold to China, and it was their major market. Not 1 bushel. So yeah, Trump fucks farmers. TFF. And he likes their philosophy, he says, because he likes fascism. That's literally it. He loves fascism. Now, Volodymyr Zelensky was in the White House a couple of days ago, in the White House, and hoping that he's going to come out with some, a suitcase full of tomahawks. But no, it didn't happen. Although it was almost promised before. But then Trump had a phone call with Putin. And Putin makes an offer for which Trump puts to Zelensky, and Zelensky says, no, we do not want to give up our land. No, the Ukrainian people don't want to give up their land. Clearly. So Trump goes off on one. Starts shouting at Zelensky, saying they're going to destroy your country, blah, 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 blah. throwing maps about and right old hissy fit. And then Zelensky stood up for himself, apparently, so we've heard. He started saying, well, how do you expect me to put this to the Ukrainian people? Of course he can't. So he went away with nothing. Effectively. See, Trump is compromised. And Russia has a compromise on Trump. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind about that, the truth in that. I've got no reason to doubt these KGB operatives, and one of them is actually on Facebook. If you check him out, I can't remember his name. Muskiev, I think it was Muskiev. And, he's made it quite clear. If you want to know more about that, you can check out trumpfile.org, which is a very interesting website with lots of articles aimed directly at Trump. Now, you tell me, all right, if that stuff on that website was not true, why isn't he being sued? Why isn't the owner of that website being sued? Because it is true. And because Trump doesn't want it to come to the surface. Otherwise, he's litigious, isn't he? He loves suing people. He just loves it. He loves the threat of the sue. Because he knows that most people, most companies, most organisations like the ABC and Disney and all that, they, okay, here's 16 million for you. If you shut up and leave us alone until Jimmy Kimmel. You see, it's all about money. It's all about money. It's about whether or not you can effectively, well, it's grift, and it's a grift. Bribe people with litigation. What do you do against people like that? You see, they got the money to do it. And it's very hard to fight these people, because obviously they got the biggest and best solicitors and lawyers and God knows what else. But it does confirm to me that he is just Putin's puppet. If Trump keeps getting spun by Putin. He's owned by Putin, because Putin has compromising material on Trump, according to this KGB operative. Now, Trump, he will do absolutely everything he can to maintain his place in the White House. After all, he wants to keep his ballroom. So you're not going to try and tell me that there's going to be a 2028 election or even a midterms. Now, let's say, for instance, there was. Well, Trump has pretty much guaranteed he's going to win. And that justifies his, he's going to try and justify his presidency when Dominion now belongs to a Trumper. It's just recently got sold, and now it's called Liberty something or other, or Liberty Vote, instead of Dominion. See, Dominion's, sued Fox News for 750 odd billion. And they got it. I think they got 500 in the end, or something like that anyway. And now, Dominion's now been sold to a Trumper. So you honestly believe that you're going to get a fair vote? I don't think so. And then obviously the postal ballots will probably be, well, they'll be disappeared, won't they? Or he'll say, oh, no, we don't do any postal ballots, or he'll let them go through, what have you, then say, yeah, we're disregarding all the postal votes because they're fraudulent or something. You're not going to get a vote. You're not going to get a vote that's worth the vote that's crossed on. You're not going to get it. I can't see it. The only time you're going to get a fair vote if Trump thinks he's going to win, anyway. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. And he knows he's not going to win if it's fair and honest. But it's not going to be. It's not going to be fair and honest. It's just not. Don't forget, people don't like man. Now, I find it all very painful in many ways. I find watching what's going on in the United States and how people are being kidnapped and gulagged. I just so sad. When you see people that have no real financial means and they're being separated from their families and their children. Kids have been left crying and what have you. You know, there's that woman who died in custody, and the baby, she miscarried because she didn't receive any medical care. These people are complicit. You've got people who've died in custody in conditions that you wouldn't keep a dog in. I certainly wouldn't. Not with my dogs. They're spoiled. Anyway. So, watching it all go on, all unfolding day by day by day, it becomes more and more intense. And I understand why some people are shutting down to it. Closing off to the madness, and they're trying to protect their own sanity. I get that. I understand why there are people out there who are literally cutting themselves off from the world. I get that. Whether they're going in, off-gridding or travelling, they're living in the van. In some cases, they don't because they have to. So they can't afford to live in a house. And just having a van life. I can't blame them. If single man or woman doing something like that, you know, you get to see places that you wouldn't have seen otherwise. You just live in the rat race otherwise, aren't you? You know, and if you've got a means to do it, we're going from place to place, working for a bit and then moving on a bit, you know, just until you find your feet again. If you want to, even, you might want to carry on. I get why people are doing that, shutting off from what is going on, this madness, because it's not healthy, is it? What's going on in the United States is not healthy. What's going on in the UK, you could say, is not healthy. These people are fucking crazy. And they're going to, likelihood is, they're going to end up with Nigel Farage as the mini Trump in the United Kingdom. All these people they say they want a better life, yet they'll vote against their own best interests. Again. We saw in 2015 when they voted for Trump the first time, and they did it again. They voted for him again. People, you just don't learn. Farmers did not learn. I would like to know how you feel about all this. You know, how do you feel about your money being spent on Trump's vanity while you're struggling? While people are going to food banks in, well, what looks like relatively decent vehicles and what have you, and the poverty is this divide between the rich and the poor is grown to an extent now where it's not sustainable. See, before you see those, the middle to the lower classes and that way, they were funding the rich. Now the rich is just sucking all the money out, and no more money has been put in the pot because the people at the bottom ain't got the money to do it. They're just paying for their bare essentials. They're not spending like they did before. Consumer spending's down. The rich is not getting any richer in that light, which is a good thing, you can argue, but they've got so much bloody money anyway, it doesn't really make any difference to them. They're just going to gobble up all your capital when finally it crashes, because it will crash. The US, UK, in fact, the world is going to crash. The economy is going to crash. And it's going to be worse than 2008. I've got no doubt in my mind. You just got to read between the lines. It's not difficult to understand and see what's going on. You know, you can say, oh, the tariffs, they haven't affected us yet. Well, actually, they're only just starting to filter through. Before you say, well, at the moment, currently, the tariffs have been, as Trump would say, eat the tariffs. They've been eaten partly, about a third by the exporter, a third by the importer, and a third by the consumer. But what happens, though, when the importers and exporters, they say, we can't do it anymore, because the profit margin's been squeezed, you see, get to a point where they no longer can do it. Well, obviously, the consumer has to pick up the difference. And at that point, it just collapses, because the consumer ain't going to be paying that much more on these goods. It's just all going to fall apart, and it's going to fall apart rapidly. Now, we're seeing gold being bought by China and obviously other countries as well, and by just people buying gold. But, 147 tons of gold China's bought just recently in the last few months. And was to back their economy and also to back the BRICS. Since that's going to be launched in 2026. When that happens, that's almost game over for the United States. China knows what it's doing. And when that starts dumping dollar, which it's already started to be fair, but when it's, if it sheds enough dollar, it can collapse the US economy. Anyway, and the US economy is done for, quite frankly. Now, some would say, okay, the value of the dollar's low now, so we can sell cheaper. People have got more buying power. Foreigners have got more buying power now in the United States. The problem is, you import everything, such as the steel, the aluminium, the inputs for the farmers. It's all been imported and heavily tariffed. And your dollar's weak. So you got everything effectively is more expensive. Anyway, it's not just a tariff. Because you've got a weak dollar. How can you sustain that? See, companies can't. You see, what happens is, if they were selling abroad, us abroad are going to look at it and say, hang on, you're too expensive now. We're going to find new markets, new customers, new providers. We'll go elsewhere. And those markets will not return to the United States. It just won't. Especially while the political... It isn't just Trump. When he's gone... If you've still got people out there willing to vote for somebody like Trump, the 80 million who voted for him, well, then you've got a problem. Because nobody's going to trust the United States, no matter who's in power. Seriously. They might take opportunities, but that'll be as far as it goes. There won't be any deep trust there. You see, the relationship between the United States and, say, for instance, Europe, a lot of it's tied into with NATO in the past. This close relationship, in national security. But that's been undermined and it's been discarded by Trump. So we don't trust you anymore. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. And what do you reckon? Please leave in the comments down below. I'm sorry if the video got a bit long, but there you go. There's a lot to say, isn't there? That there is. Anyway, how's it going to do some work, I reckon? I can hear the missus on the other side of the door. She's probably going to say, you did this, Dan, or something silly like that. Anyway, toodaloo. Please beep the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel, a little bell icon, because then you get one video in your pocket every time I upload another video. And I hope you be excited about that. And I've got paint on my hands, so dear me. Toodaloo.